The new Rat Pack or a pseudo Wolf Pack? You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Las Vegas.
What the hell are you doing here?
Billy is tying the knot in Vegas.
If you think I'm going to Vegas, I'm not selfish bastard, you're dumber than that hat.
You guys, the best thing ever happened to me.
Tonight, we're gonna party like it's 1959.
Bring out the bottles! I'm getting married. She's your age.
You must be rich.
You have to wonder, who was the first domino? Which acting legend said yes first, making it okay for the others to join him? It's a tough call, as all four have been a little paycheck happy lately, with poor results. Robert De Niro is easily the worst offender, coming off of box office duds The Family and The Big Wedding. Michael Douglas just won an Emmy for another trip to Vegas behind the candelabra, but saw little box office or awards glitter with Wall Street Money Never Sleeps and Solitary Man. But at least they're working. Kevin Kline was a legitimate movie star in the 80s and 90s, yet now when he stars in a film, it doesn't even register with critics or audiences. He is the youngest of this group, though, and could be on the cusp of his traditional comeback, perhaps with Las Vegas? As for Morgan Freeman, he's actually the most successful of the group, still on his first win, having found his success later on in his career. But he does seem to be something of a professional supporting actor, so the chance to step more into the center ring is certainly a risk-worthy opportunity. And he's scored in this golden oldie genre before with The Bucket List and The First Red. Also, while she didn't rate the poster, Mary Steenburgen also stars, and it's nice to see an older actress on screen who isn't Meryl Streep or Helen Mirren. Steenburgen really only has one big film to her name, Back to the Future Part 3, yet has survived in the trenches of Hollywood for 30-plus years. But is Las Vegas' goal just to survive at the box office or thrive? The Hangover for the baby boomer set is a great pitch, and director John Turteltaub was able to do an awful lot with the flimsy pitch for National Treasure. And while screenwriter Dan Fogelman might have stumbled with another golden oldie, Barbra Streisand in The Guilt Trip, he pulled off a nice bromance with Crazy Stupid Love. So are they more powerful, united as one, or is this just another paycheck movie? This is a really good movie. It surprised me how good it is, and I think a lot of people will be surprised. So much so that I hope Las Vegas becomes a sleeper hit that benefits from tremendous word of mouth, because it deserves it. It's the kind of old school classic comedy that Hollywood has been churning out since its inception until now, really, because of this new focus just on blockbusters, which is a shame, because when a movie fires on all cylinders like this, it's just a beautiful thing to watch. In fact, for the first two-thirds of this movie, I literally had a smile on my face. Now, what happened during the last third? Well, the movie lost a little momentum as it tried to have some character arcs, some heart, which worked, but part of me did wish that it was just a full-on laugh fest from beginning to end. But don't let that detract from going to see this in the theater. I really do think this is a movie-going experience in the theater because it should be shared. The movie got a lot of laughs. It was great on the big screen. Las Vegas looked great, and these guys were having so much fun. The four actors, that it just spilled out into the audience. And that's fantastic. And speaking of the four actors, they all were at the top of their game. Not just in terms of acting, but they were game for the comedy that's in the film. And nobody embarrassed themselves, which is great. I think often when you think of these older comedies about older characters, you think, oh, it's gonna be an embarrassment. They're gonna be making fun of themselves. And there were some self-deprecating jokes, but that was fine. I mean, they were done in a good, fun way, the way any kind of group of guys or friends kind of makes fun of themselves at any age. And I think that was kind of the message of the movie that I did appreciate throughout. That just because these guys are older, three of the main four actors are in their 70s, and Kevin Kline is in his mid-60s. It doesn't mean they stop being people. And I think that's a really important message, particularly to come from Hollywood, because they're the worst offenders when it comes to perpetrating a negative stereotype for older people. And for instance, in the beginning of the film, Kevin Kline's character finds himself in a retirement home, and everybody around him is kind of like the old way Hollywood depicts senior citizens or people who are 60 plus. And it was great to have this contrast of what people are really like, because I think age is changing in the world as people live longer. There's better healthcare and medicine. And people, are more proactive. There's no retirement isn't as big a thing. And I just that's my perception at least. And I feel that since age is changing in the real world, that should be reflected in Hollywood. So it's great to see it reflected here. This is a film that delivers, and not just with the actors though, on every level. It's a great script. great director, and then the actors are great. Everybody pitches in all across the table, and so it really results in a great film. And I had a great time. I highly recommend you check it out in theaters, as I said, and spread the word, because I think it's important to have movies like this. I think for everybody, because everybody's going to be 70 eventually, and you don't want to be put in treated like a child either. So and put in that horrible stereotype. So it's exciting to see, and it was great. And by the way, great soundtrack too. And don't go and buy the soundtrack. I was going to buy the soundtrack, but a good thing I looked at it first. That's just the score. But if you go over to IMDb, they list the songs used in the film, which were really great, really great. These guys threw a great party the whole movie was a party, and I think you should attend. All right, that's my review of Las Vegas. Thank you for tuning in, and you can check out these other episodes right now.